Okay, so now we're going to add an activity or resource, right? So we're going to click on the Add Activity or Resource button. Now we're going to come up with options that we're going to see. There are many options to choose from. So as we said before, we are only going to be focusing on 3: assignment, lesson, and quizzes. So we're going to do lesson as the first one. When you click on lesson, you need, again, remember the exclamation marks are those that are required, and you have to fill out these fields. So the name of this lesson will be Continents and Oceans. So your description of your lesson, you could give a brief description of what you want your lesson to be. Again, all these options are here, provided for you to choose from. So we'll give a brief description. We'll just copy something off of the internet for now. So we could go here. Right. You want your description to be displayed on the page as well. Now remember, you could add images, you could insert a video, you could record, do a recording, same thing with a video recording. You could also embed or put in a video in HTML format as well. So now we continue, we're going to click. You want the student to have the progress bar visible. So you want them to see how far along in the lesson they are. The display menu, yes, if you want to display, or you don't have to have it. You want to choose the date the lesson should be available from. I want it available from today. The deadline date, this is a lesson, so you don't necessarily need a deadline date. A time limit, you could also enable a time limit of how long you want the lesson to be taken. Flow control. Allow students to review. In the event that the students and them, let's say, forgot something and they need to go back, yes, you want them to review. If you have questionnaires to the end of your lesson, you want students to try the question again. There is also the amount of times you could give the students to try the question. You could put 4. This is a lesson, so we're not necessarily going to be putting a grade. Is this a practice lesson? Yes. Allow retakes? Yes. So you want, even if the student gets it wrong, they should be able to retake the lesson as well. Availability, you want it to be shown on the course page. You could have an ID number as well. Remember, we talked about groups earlier on. If you want to have a separate group within your class or segregated groups in your class to take certain lessons. We also spoke about the restrict access. If you want to add restrictions by date, remember this is a lesson, so we're not going to necessarily have a grade. Or if you are doing it where your lesson requires a grade, you could have this option. You choose the percentage, how much they need to pass by. So we don't necessarily need that. So we're just going to take it off. So we're not going to have any restrictions. The activity completion, where the students can manually click or tick on the checkbox to say that they have completed it, or show activity when completion conditions are met. We're going to leave it as the student will check it, or you could choose the next one to see whichever one you're more comfortable with. And we spoke about the tags before and the competencies. So now we're going to go to click Save and Display. Right. So now you have finished this section where you started to create your content page. Now we are actually going to start creating your lesson. So to do this, we're going to click on Add a Content Page. Right. So in your content page now, you're going to have your page title and your page content. Now, content 1 and content 2, content 3, content 4, content 5. These contents down here are buttons that will be placed on the page. This content 1, this is not where we understand as where you give students work or they go through their work. This is not that. These here are buttons to be placed on the page. So let's start creating our lesson. So our first continent. So now we're going to show you how to insert images. So we go to the Insert Image. We're going to click on Browse Repository. Choose File. And when we click Choose File, now we're going to search for where the file is placed. And then we're going to click on the file that we want. This will be the file here. And we upload this file. Now, if we do not click on this here, we're going to get an error. So I'm going to show you that. And we want to take off the auto size as well. We want it to be a size where it fits on the page properly. Now I'm going to show you what's going to happen if we do not click on this here. An image must have a description unless it is marked as decorative only. So we're going to click on this because we don't need a description of the image and click Save Image. And here we're going to see our image has been inserted into our content. So the content page now, we're going to click on Content 1 and we're going to give the Content 1 a description. So the description will be to go to the next page. And our next page will be vocabulary. Then we're going to click on Save Page. And now we're going to actually see where our first page has been created.